I'm Dr. Melody Hilton, and I've written an ebook called Everyday Justice. And I have with me a guest, Elizabeth Forbes, and I know she is passionate about justice, power used for good, and I'd like to know how you do everyday justice.
Well, I'll start first in family. So I'm a wife, number one, and then I have 3 little girls. So everyday justice is hearing their voice and meeting their needs. So I'm learning. It's not definitely something that I haven't, conquered yet. But being able to see every child as being different and being able to meet their individual need. So my oldest one's very talkative, but she likes to be heard. So being able to take that time to listen and to allow her to ask those questions. My middle child, she's very introspective. So she thinks a lot and process. So being able to take my time with her, be patient with her, and being able to just allow her to express herself in different ways. And then my youngest, meeting every need. She's only 2 months, so that crying, being able to meet that need right away. As far as my job, I'm a school counselor. So my heart is really just to see hope restored in the lives of our young people. A lot of children experience trauma.
Yeah.
So whether it's death in the families, whether it's just loss in general. We have students that are homeless that I work with, students that may have a family member incarcerated. So it's being able to restore hope, allowing them to know that their life is still valuable, it's important, that they're here for a reason. And they have to kind of figure out that reason. It's beyond following the footsteps of someone that may lead them down a negative path. So I like to be able to sit with the students that I encounter and to be able to hear their life story, what they've gone through already, and see where they're going, what they want to do, and being able to kind of provide guidance in that sense for them to get there. And then also being able to correct what needs to be corrected and hopefully set them on a different path than where they're heading. So I really just want to see hope restored within families, being able to sit down with homeless families, give them resources, and honestly seeing them get past where they are, not see where they are currently as their only limitation, but being able to leave that limitation, kind of see the potential of where they need to be or where they should be.
You said something that I thought was very good, because you're seeing value, you're making investment, but you also are bringing course directions or giving them instructions on how they can better themselves. Right. And really, justice isn't just empathy, but it's empathy with action that empowers. Right. What are some ways that you bring correction or instruction or challenge somebody to better themselves while still holding the validation piece, so that they know I'm very much valued, and she's communicating these things to me because she really does value me, but yes, I really need to work on this. How do you navigate that when you're dealing with young people who have experienced trauma?
So I think being transparent, so sharing your story, challenges you may have faced, I think is the biggest thing. Teenagers nowadays don't want to be convinced to do something differently unless you have been through something yourself. And so I think being able to share what you've gone through, where you've come from, the paths that you have taken, the mistakes that you have made, and where they've gotten you is so important, I believe, to sharing, and then encourage them to go on the path that they're supposed to be on. Because I think sometimes we can look at someone and say, oh, they've never been through this. They wouldn't know, how to handle this. But being able to share your story, being able to share why the path that they're taking, what's going to lead to, and how you may have a family member that has dealt with something very similar and how it resulted in their life being in prison or, death early, those type of things. And so being able to take time to share your story along with theirs and hearing their heart and saying, you're worth so much more. And validation, I think, is so important. Being able to tell a student that has been labeled, this is not your label. Yeah, people may perceive you this way, but you are so much more than that. And don't allow that to limit you. And being able to break those labels as well.
And they are not what has happened to them.
Right.
That doesn't define them. I love how you shared about sharing your story, because really what you're doing is developing trust. You're
Yes.
developing a bond, a relational
Yes.
bond, an emotional bond. So you're not just doing a job,
Right.
you're giving your heart as well
Right.
as touching their heart in the process.
Right.
They'll never forget you.
Right.
They'll look back and say, yes, Mrs. Forbes, she was the one who helped me at that time in my life. That is beautiful, everyday justice. Thank you so much.